All right, so welcome to the first high school meet of the 2024 season here for Harlan Community High School, hosted at Cyclone Lanes. My name is Bailey Forward. I'm going to be your commentator tonight. Things are getting underway here. We are starting the first portion of the high school meet, which includes a couple individual games, followed by the Baker format, which we can cover what that looks like here in a little bit. So for the Harlan girls, they're going to be on 3 and 4 with Denison varsity, and then on 5 and 6 we have the varsity boys, and on 7 and 8 we've got the JV boys varsity, so junior varsity. So we'll let things get underway here a little bit. Like I said, this is the first high school meet at home this year. They had one other meet in Carroll last week, which was a triangular between Carroll and Carroll Kemper. So they have a little experience on the lanes this year, so we're just going to see what they can do, and we'll be here to cover it for you. All right, so starting here on 3 and 4, on the left side of the screen, we've got our varsity girls. Just all quick go through that roster right now. This year we have McKenna Erickson, Eden Raymond, Lucy DeGroot, Katie Stern, Andrea Reitfeld, and Ivy Stevens. So they are all going to participate in this portion of the meet. They all bowl 2 individual games, and then they do drop the low series. So we'll see how we're sitting after that first portion of the meet. Right now up on lane 3 is Eden Raymond. Just went up for a 7-pin and missed it, unfortunately. And then for the Denison varsity girls, we have Abby Ratliff, Ashton Randereis, Haley Lutz, Lexi Hartwig, McKenna Olson, and Grace Collins. Over here on 5 and 6, we have the Harlan varsity boys. Up right now is going to be Caleb Ernst. And then we also have Wyatt Swank, Donnie Smith, Jason McDaniel, Eric McCauley, and Logan Strom. And then for the Denison varsity boys, we have Jackson Steinkühler, Cale Paulson, Gavin Schmidke, Logan Harper, Grant Fink, and Ethan Totten. Denison starting off strong with 3 closed frames in a row for their team. Harlan has yet to get a fill this game for any of the bowlers, so hopefully Caleb can help us out here. And then to wrap it up on 7 and 8, we have the Harlan junior varsity boys. We've got Zeke Christensen, Lucas Puslik, Jacob Went, Paul Martz, Gideon Lyons, and Brayton Miller. And for Denison junior varsity boys, we've got Drake Myron, Ryan Hennings, Aiden March, Jaden Gizlandi, Aiden Zank, and Tyson Stoppel. Up now for the Harlan junior varsity boys, we do have Gideon Lyons. He's shooting to pick up a 3 count over there, it looks like. And he's got that picked up, so good mark for the junior varsity boys. Still struggling over here on lane 5 to get going. They'll get some momentum here shortly, I'm sure. So we have Eric McCauley up, shooting at a 6-pin. And he's got that down. Hopefully we'll get some good momentum going for the boys. Next up is Logan Strong. He's a sophomore for the team, really helped lead them to some big wins last year. He does a lot of bowling. He's in here quite often. If you're not familiar with who I am, my parents do own the bowling alley here in Harlan, so I've been here quite a bit growing up. I see these kids bowl quite frequently, catch a lot of practices. I see them growing up on junior bowling on Saturday mornings. A lot of them have been bowling for years, so they put in a lot of hours and they spend a lot of time here. We have senior Ivy Stevens bowling over on lane 3, her first ball of the meet, and she's going to leave a 1-3 over there. See if she can get the spare. Quick intermission here on 5 and 6. Looks like we have a lane issue. Balls are stuck underneath, so we'll take a quick intermission and just kind of focus on the varsity girls over here on 3 and 4 and the JV boys on 7 and 8. And Ivy Stevens covers her spare for the Cyclones. Denison varsity girls are off to a pretty hot start here in the second frame. They had a pretty good first frame, only 2 opens between their 6 bowlers. McKenna Erickson just covered her single pin spare, looking like it might be a better frame for the Harlan varsity girls. Eden Raymond up again for the Cyclones on lane 4. Just got a 7 count to start off the second frame for her. Even unable to cover the spare in the second frame. Jacob went with a nice cover on lane 8 for the junior varsity boys. And Logan Strom up on lane 5 to cover the spare, and he just picks 1 off of that, 3-10. Wyatt Swank will lead off the Cyclone boys once 6 is up and running. Looks like there's a little bit bigger of an issue than we originally thought. Lucy DeGroot is up on lane 4. She just threw a nice 9 count, leaving a single 10 pin down there. So she will shoot for the spare here in a moment. Getting some advice from her teammates and her coach on how to go about this, it looks like. Lucy covers the spare, so that's a big one for the Harlan girls. Take a quick minute here to thank our sponsors. We've got Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keast Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Swampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murtu Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, the Peterson Family Wellness Center, and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Looks like we're up and going on lanes 5 and 6 again. Wyatt Swank up for the Cyclones. Goes Brooklyn, and he leaves a 1-3-6 up there. Katie Stern missed her spare in the second frame. Now we've got Andrea Reitfeld going up. Hopefully she can get the Cyclones back on track for the girls. All right, Wyatt went the hard way for that one, and unfortunately only cherry-picked 2 of them. Andrea Reitfeld with a 6 count on lane 4. She'll go up for the spare. This is a trickier one to get when you've got that 8 pin back there kind of hiding behind the 1 and the 3. All right, we've got Donnie up on lane 6 for the Harlan varsity boys. He left a single 5 pin, so we'll see if he can cover that today. Oh, and he just missed that by a hair on lane 6. And Ivy Stevens up on lane 4. She also missed the head pin. She went Brooklyn. Crossover from the head pin from her pocket, which means that she might have pulled it. Could have caught a little bit of a dry spot on the lane, and it crossed over to the opposite side of the head pin that she's supposed to shoot at. So we'll see if she can kind of get in her groove and get that in the pocket this time around and cover the spare. Unfortunately, it looks like it still took off a little bit there at the end, and she was unable to cover the spare. We've got Jason McDaniel up on lane 6. He's going for a single 6 pin up there, it looks like. We'll see if he'll be able to cover that one for the Cyclones to get him going again. Unfortunately, that one came up a little bit more. It looks like they might be experiencing a little bit different ball reaction with the lanes today. Might be hitting some dry spots, might be catching the oil, moving their braking point back a little bit. We've got Caleb Ernst up on lane 6 now. We'll see if he's able to put it in the pocket. And looks like he put it a little bit farther inside than he had planned. Eden Raymond up on lane 3, and she put a nice 9 count back. Looks like she's just got an 8 pin up there now. We'll see if she can cover this spare. That would really help out the Cyclone girls right now. They got back into a little bit of a rut after that second frame, so we got to get some momentum going over there again. And Caleb Ernst looks like he's gonna, thought he was gonna cover the spare for the Cyclones. Ended up leaving the 10 pin. Lucy DeGroot back up for the varsity girls on lane 3 over there. She had another nice shot. Was a little light, didn't quite come up to the pocket. She had a nice 6 count on that spare. So now we'll see if she can cover this. All right, nice cover by Eric McCulley on the 310 spare, and looks like Wyatt Swank is going to pick up the same thing. Great covers for the Harlan High School varsity boys. They need to get some momentum going. Hopefully Logan Strong can keep that going for them too. Came over Brooklyn and he left a 3 pin. Easy coverage right there though, so I'm sure he's going to run that down for us. All right, Katie Stern up on lane 3. She went in for the Brooklyn strike. That's going to be a great help for the high school girls over here. And Donnie Smith on the 5-pin cover on lane 5. Andrea Reitfeld up on lane 3 for the girls. She also went Brooklyn, unfortunately, leaving that 1-3-6-10. For our varsity girls on 3 and 4, Denison is leading the Harlan girls by, they are currently up 162 to Denison's 243. So Denison girls leading right now, and a reminder, we will drop the low series for the individual games at the conclusion of this portion of the meet. The Denison boys are also leading. They've got a 189 to Harlan's 137. Denison also has a few strikes in there that do not count towards the total score until the end of the game or until they get something other than a strike. On lane 7 and 8, the Harlan boys are leading 187 to 183. It sounds like there's some commotion over here on lanes 3 and 4 for the girls. Ivy Stevens got an 8 spare to help lead the girls into the 4th frame. We've got McKenna Erickson up for the Harlan varsity girls here on lane 4. It looks like she's got a 7 count on the lane. We'll see if she can cover the spare. Nice 9 count by Eric McCulley on lane 5, shooting for a 5-pin spare. McKenna was able to grab the head pin off of that second shot attempt. Logan Strom's going to go Brooklyn again and unfortunately missed that head pin again. Lots of 7 counts out there today. Looks like their balls are starting to take off a little bit more than they might be anticipating for. I'm sure Coach Anderson and Coach Kurtz are working on a game plan to kind of talk all their players through that, what they can do to adjust to keep for the right-handers that ball on the right side of the head pin, and for any of those left-handers out there, their ball on the left side of the head pin. A little mishap there on lane 6. The ball flew onto lane 5 after being released by the Denison player right after Logan Strom picked up his spare. So we're going to have to send somebody down there to pick that up for them. So we'll be right back with the varsity boys in a moment. Don't see that very often.
Coverage of the 2024-2025 Cyclone season has been brought to you by a generous donation from the Harlan Pizza Ranch. Visit Pizza Ranch in Harlan and thank them for helping us bring you live coverage of Cyclone sports this year, including our brand new scoreboard camera. Cyclone Sports on HLTV Channel 15 has also been sponsored by Do It Best Hardware, The Agency in Harlan, Hamilton Financial Services,
Fairway in Harlan,
Western Iowa Medical in Harlan,
Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Live well.
Murtu Medical Center, Physical Therapy and Rehab Services.
Hanson House Senior Living. Experience life, experience Hanson House.
Dr. J's Family Eye Care, longtime supporter of Cyclone Sports in Harlan.
Family Service Community, SCSB.
Keast Auto Center, proudly serving Southwest Iowa for over 31 years.
Polly Jones Funeral Home, longtime supporter of Harlan Community Athletics and events.
Cyclone Seed and Chemical, build a bigger bin.
Conducting Swampler is a proud supporter of the Harlan community, education, and student activities. We move your business forward.
United Bank of Iowa, the difference is here, member FDIC.
Cyclone Lanes, great family entertainment, including bowling, sandwiches, and homemade buttercrust pizzas.
Got a couple of splits here on lanes 3 and 4. We'll see if those girls are able to cover any of those. Denison was able to cover the 5-pin out of their 5-7 on lane 3, and we've got Lucy DeGroot up to shoot for her 4-5 split. She'll be waiting just a minute for them to get that ball off of lane 5, bringing that back down. She was able to cover the 5-pin off of that. Very close. Katie Stern up again on lane 4. She was able to come away with an 8 count, leaving the 6-10 up there. This is a pretty makeable spare, so we'll see if she's able to cover that one for the Cyclones. She's having a pretty good game, only one open so far in the second frame. And she's able to pick that up for the Cyclones, which is huge. Harlan girls are on their way back to closing that gap for the lead between Denison and Harlan varsity girls. Denison varsity boys are definitely getting in their groove. Lots of strikes up on their side of the scoreboard. Hopefully we can see some of those for Harlan here soon. We've got Wyatt Swank up on lane 6 for the varsity boys. It's going to go Brooklyn, but it's going to stay put. He's going to get a Brooklyn strike. Donnie Smith is up now for the Cyclone boys on lane 6. He's had a few good shots today, so let's see if he can keep in trend with Wyatt and knock all of them back. Going to be another good shot. Going to come away with a 7 count. Andrea Wright fell up on lane 4, and she unfortunately just missed that spare. They're definitely getting in a dry spot on the lane. On 3 and 4, you can tell when they're coming up with those, we like to call it a fence, for those first 4 pins that kind of make a fence. Like, we had a nice washout picked up on lane 5 by Kale Paulson from Denison. And Donnie was able to cover his spare for the Cyclone boys. Really good shot for Jason McDaniel on lane 6. Came up a little light, didn't quite get to the head pin, but that was one of the best shots that I've seen him throw all day. Senior Ivy Stevens misses a spare on lane 4 for the Cyclones. Hopefully they can reset. McKenna's up to start them in their 5th frame of game 1, and she goes in for the 8 count. All right, McKenna Erickson picks up her spare for her 2nd fill of the game. Good momentum to start in that 5th frame there for the varsity girls. Denison is doing a pretty nice job of covering their spares today. They have a lot of great ball action on the girls' side. Not getting as many strikes, but still covering a lot of good spares, which is how you win these meets. The varsity girls are down to Denison. Again, it's going to be 329 to Harlan's 240. Again, we'll be dropping the low series at the end of this portion of the meet. For our varsity boys, Denison is leading 360 to Harlan's 219. And down for our JV boys are actually up 2 pins, I believe, 254 to 252 in the start of their 5th frame. So we'll see how they continue to progress throughout this game. Nice Brooklyn strike from Eric McCulley on lane 6 for the Harlan boys. We really needed that boost, so we'll see what Logan Strom's able to do, see if he can feed off that and get another one for the Cyclones. It's going to be a pretty good shot for Logan. Still going to hit a little light, but he did manage to get a nice 8 count there, leaving the 4-8. Lucy DeGroot with a really nice ball, and she's going to put down a nice strike for the Cyclone girls. And Logan was able to cover that 4-8. Hung out a little bit. I was a little scared for a second. And Katie Stern's going to go in for the Brooklyn strike, and she ended up leaving a 6 pin. Wyatt Swank up again on lane 5 for the varsity boys, and he is going to leave a 5-7. It's a makeable split. We hate to see him, but this is a pretty makeable one and a pretty common one if you watch any bowling. Katie unfortunately missed that single pin spare on lane 3, and let's hope that Andrea Reitfeld can get him going again. Wyatt Swank able to cover 1 pin out of that 5-7 split. And now we've got Donnie Smith up again for the Harlan boys. Denison varsity boys look very good today. They've got a lot of easy makeable spares up on the scoreboard, and they've been able to find that sweet spot in the pocket to put up a lot more strikes. So we'll see if the Harlan boys are able to do that, getting some guidance from coaches, talking about their shots with their teammates, and hopefully they're able to figure that out for themselves as we head into the second half of this first game. Got Andrea Reitfeld up on lane 3. She got a 6 count, and she's going in for the spare. Looks like a pretty good shot off of her hands, and she was able to cover that for the girls. Ivy Stevens threw that ball a bit outside and ended up coming back, and she left a 5 pin. Another very makeable in common spare that we see picked up in bowling. Ivy unfortunately just missed that 5-pin to the right, but Jason McDaniel was able to cover his spare for the Cyclone boys.
Hey, good spare.
Caleb Ernst up on lane 5. He was able to keep that ball on the right side of the head pin just until the end where that ball hit the break point. Got a nice 7 count up there for him. Looks like he's starting to figure out where he needs to be on the lane. He did struggle those first few frames. And now it looks like he's starting to figure it out with the help of his teammates and his coaches down there. And he got over there and unfortunately knocked off the baby split out of that pickup. Eric McCauley's coming off of a strike in the 4th frame. We'll see if he's able to double up for the Cyclone boys. That would be huge. McKenna Erickson is up on lane 4, and she unfortunately misses that spare going into the 6th frame for the girls. Eden Raymond has a nice shot on lane 4. It's hanging on right down the middle. It looks like she's going to come out with a 6 count for the Harlan girls. Eric McCauley covers his single pin spare on lane 5. He's having a pretty good game over there for the Cyclones. Ian Raymond got very close to picking up that spare. She knocked off 3 of the 4 that she had left. Logan Strom up again on lane 5, just left a single 10-pin. The spares are pretty good throughout this game. 7, 8, 9 spare, hopefully. Up for the shot, and we'll see how it looks off of his hand. Might slide a little bit, and he's going to cover it for the Cyclones. Oh, we almost had a really nice pickup on lane 3. Denison girls looked like she had the 6-7 spare, which is pretty far apart on the lane. If you know your pins in bowling, she knocked off that 6 pin on the right side, and it slid over and almost took out the 7, which would have been a huge pickup for the Denison girls. Wyatt Swank with the spare going into the 6th frame for the Harlan boys. Up next we've got Donnie Smith again. Not off to a great start for the Harlan girls over here on 3 and 4. No fills so far in the 6th frame. We'll see how Katie Stern starts that off. And she got a nice 8 count, almost left that 10 pin up, but we got a 4-7 left down there. And Katie Stern, looks like it's not going to quite get over to cover that spare for the Harlan girls. We'll see what Andrea Wrightbelt can do. Donnie Smith up for the Cyclones on lane 6, and he just got a nice strike. So now we've got Jason McDaniel back up. Andrea Wrightfeld just had a really nice ball on lane 4. She went in and she left a 9-pin. That was probably one of the best shots I've seen her throw today. Looked really good off of her hand. Still came up Brooklyn, but you know what? When the pins fall, they fall. Ivy Stevens up on lane 4. And she's got a 6-pin that just kept wiggling. She got a nice 9 count for the girls. We'll watch her cover her spare here in a second. Fortunately, that ball hung on, but didn't get up to the 6-pin. And Caleb Ernst finally got a strike. I know he's happy to have that. Finally stayed on the right side of the head pin for him, and maybe he'll repeat that shot a few more times to finish out this game. McKenna Erickson up on lane 3. She just got a nice strike, leading the girls into their 7th frame here at Cyclone Lanes today. Another nice strike for the Harlan boys by Eric McCulley here on lane 6. This has been a pretty good frame for the Harlan boys. Logan Strom will finish it out here now. Eden Raymond up on lane 3. Looks like a pretty good shot. And she's going to take away another 9 count. Nice shot. Logan Strom up on lane 6, right into the pocket. Unfortunately, it did not break how he wanted it to, so he left the 4-7-10 up there. In this kind of scenario, the best you can go for is the 2 and hope that one of them slides over there and gets that 10 pin out of there. But the 2 count in this scenario, again, is all you can really hope for. And Logan just about did that on lane 6. Fortunately, he just got the 2, but he was very close to knocking that 10 out of there as well. We've got Lucy DeGroot up on lane 3 for the Harlan girls. Last frame and this frame are not going how she wanted them to, so hopefully she can get a good count to finish out this 7th frame for her team. Wyatt Swank is up on lane 5. He left a 3-pin, it looks like we've got up there. So we'll see if he's able to cover that. Lucy was able to come away with an 8 count on that second ball for the Cyclones. Casey Christensen up on lane 7, just covered a nice spare for the Harlan Junior Varsity boys and starting off their 7th frame. Donnie Smith with the 1-2-9 cover on lane 5. Those can sometimes be a tricky pickup, but when you get them, you're happy about it. Katie Stern up on lane 3 for the girls, and she's going to put it right in the pocket and leave a solid 10 pin. Looks like she's getting her spare ball out so she can run down this 10 pin to help the Harlan girls get some momentum back. Caleb Ernst is going up on lane 5. I'm sure he's hoping he can repeat that last shot right in the pocket for another strike for the Cyclone boys. And it's going to go Brooklyn, but he's still going to save the head pin. So he left a sleeper back there with that 3 pin, so he's got a 3-9 up there now. All right, we had a great pickup on lane 7. I believe he had the 5-7 split, and that was Jacob Went that covered that. Caleb Ernst is not going to get that sleeper. He was able to cover that 3 pin and left the 9 standing. Ivy Stevens up on lane 3. Unfortunately, that ball did not come off her hand like she wanted it to. Went way Brooklyn and just took off the 4, 7, and a few others, it looked like. Only got a 4 count on that ball. Seems to be struggling a little bit this game. Hopefully she's able to take a quick breather between games 1 and 2 and reset and see what she needs to do to make game 2 look a lot stronger. McKenna Erickson leading the girls into the 8th frame of their first game here today. All right, and it looks like she's going to leave a 5 pin. Eric McCulley picks up that 6-10 spare for the boys. Meaning that we've got Logan Strong coming back up to finish out the 7th frame for the Harlan boys. And McKenna was able to cover that 5 pin for the girls. Looks like Logan's going to go Brooklyn here, and he's going to get a 9 count, leaving the 6 pin up. Eden Raymond up on lane 4. Unfortunately, that ball did not make it down the lane. And Logan is gonna run down this 6 pin, no question about it. He knew from the start that that ball was gonna cover that. Wyatt Swank up again. Brooklyn left a 5-10 split. See if he's able to cover it or at least get one of them. White Swank able to cover the 5-pin on that. We'll see if Donnie Smith can get the boys going again over here. Coming off a strike and a 7 spare. He's going to have to reset lane 6. We got a couple pins that don't want to stand up right now. And Lucy DeGroot up on lane 4. She just got a 1 count on that first ball. All 3 Harlan teams today are now in a deficit, it looks like. Got to get some momentum going from each team. Easy to make some of those pins up in Baker, but those pins matter now too. Hopefully we're able to get some spares going in and regrouping before game 2 here in a few minutes. Just kind of talking through their shots, seeing what they need to do differently and how they can execute their shots a little bit better to get some more strikes and some more ball movement on the lane. Donnie Smith was unable to cover that spare on lane 6 for the Harlan Cyclones. And it looks like Katie Stern on lane 4 just left a 9-pin. We'll take a 9 count, we've just got to cover those spares. Jason McDaniel up on lane 6 for the Harlan boys just got a strike. Hopefully we'll get something going for them now too. And now we've got Caleb Ernst up on lane 6. Looks like we've got some balls stuck on lanes 3 and 4. We'll get that taken care of here in a moment. Looks like Caleb Ernst was unable to convert that pickup on lane 6, leaving 1.
Balls on 3 and 4. Balls on 3 and 4 in the back.
Katie Stern also unable to convert that spare on lane 4 for the varsity girls. We're in a little bit of a drought, not too many spares lately. McKenna Erickson has the last one, starting the 8th frame. Before that, hadn't had a spare since the 5th frame for Andrea. I'm sure Coach Anderson's, again, working on a game plan with them to start covering some more of those, figuring out what they can be doing to improve upon that during today's meet. And Andrea's going to come out and she's going to get a nice 8 count. She's got that sleeper back there on lane 4, so she's going to have to think about how she wants to convert that. And Logan Strom had a great ball here on lane 6, still leaving the 7-pin. But it was a great shot off his hand, and I could tell that it's what he wanted. He has yet to strike this game, and if a ball would have struck, it would have been that one. So hopefully he's able to run this one down and throw that same shot in the 9th frame, because that was a good ball. Wyatt Swank is starting off that 9th frame for the Harlan boys here on lanes 5 and 6. Left a 5-pin. Seen that one quite a bit today. Normally that means that a ball is just coming in a little bit light to the pocket, so it's not able to get through those pins like it should be. So they can kind of tell if they're leaving a lot of 5 pins what needs to be adjusted. So hopefully they'll start to talk that through, make a slight move to be able to cover those and push through and get a strike instead of just leaving that 5-pin. Wyatt was able to convert it though, so now it's up to Donnie Smith. He's been throwing the ball very well today. Lots of good conversions and a few strikes on the board as well. And he's going to go Brooklyn, and he's also going to get a 9 count. We've seen a lot of those today. But like I mentioned earlier, spares are what are going to win these meets. You can get all the strikes you want, but it really comes down to spares. Ivy Stevens up for the Harlan girls on lane 4. Again, she's still struggling this game. We'll see if she's able to run down this spare. That ball looked a lot better off of her hand. Unfortunately, she still just wasn't been able to get it. Looks like Donnie is going to go ahead and convert this 7-pin. Again, that was much needed for the boys. Don't think they're going to be able to come back enough for this game to get ahead on Denison, but they are starting to find their groove, which is always a good thing.
Nice shot.
Junior varsity boys over there on lane 7 and 8 are keeping it close with Denison. So we'll see what they're able to do today. Jason McDaniel just had a great strike on lane 5. He now has a double, which is going to be huge for our boys to start closing that gap versus Denison. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5. I know he's ready to get another strike on the board or even convert a spare here. He's been bowling for quite a few years. You could tell he's getting a little frustrated with himself. Just got to stay consistent with those shots, keep repeating those shots. So it's not looking bad off of his hand. Just got to find that right spot on the lane today. Oh, Eden Raymond almost got that spare on lane 3. She had a nice 8 count and left a 1-2 and was able to pick the 2 off of that, which was almost a great conversion for her. Caleb Ernst did come away with the spare. I'm sure he is very happy about that down there. Much needed for him this game.
Hey, good spare.
Lucy DeGroot just had a great shot for the girls on lane 3, and Eric McCulley was able to get a strike on lane 5 for the boys. Finishing up this 9th frame, Logan Strom is going to be up again, coming off of that really good 9 count in the last frame. Hopefully he's able to get that ball right into the pocket and just have a strike. I know he wants it. It's going to go Brooklyn. It's going to get an 8 count. Lucy DeGroot looks like she's going to cover this spare on lane 3. Again, huge for the girls. Definitely were lacking some spares there for a while. Hopefully that gives them, again, just that momentum to get through this game and kind of refigure everything for this girls varsity matchup on lanes 3 and 4. Logan Strom is going to convert this spare on lane 5. Looks like all the Harlan boys are sitting in a great spot going into this 10th frame. They're going to need all the pins they can get, so hopefully every single one of them is going up 3 times during that 10th frame. That was their first clean frame for the varsity boys there on lane 5. You can see the scoreboard above that. Again, first clean frame of the game for all bowlers, which is huge. Right, looks like we have to add a 4-pin on lane 4, so Joe is going back to take care of that. So we'll be held up on lanes 3 and 4 for the girls for just a second. We'll focus here on the boys as they finish up their 10th frame. Wyatt Swank starting off strong with a 9 spare. Like I said, we'd love to see all 6 of these boys go 3 times in the 10th frame just to get as many pins back as they possibly can. So he's going in with a 120 into the 10th frame, plus the 10 from his spare already. So he's at a 130, plus the next ball. However many pins he gets will decide his final score of this game. Could be as high as a 140 if he gets all 10, so we're going to look at a 138. Got Donnie Smith up for the first ball of his 10th frame. Looks like it's going to be a good one, and he got all 10. And again, like I said, we want those 3 balls in the 10th frame for all 6 of these guys, and so far, so good. All right, and Donnie's going to go up, and he's unfortunately going to leave the 4-6-7. Again, if he can get 2, that'll be a pretty decent game for him to walk away with. Denison boys are off to a pretty decent start. Their first bowler had a 179, and we've got a 154 up on the board for them. So that was a pretty good finish for those first 2 bowlers. Harlan started off with Wyatt with a 138, and then Donnie had a 143, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, Coach Anderson was not able to get me what their averages looked like after their first triangular meet last week, as she was working on packing up the library with the high school construction going on. So hopefully we'll have those by the next meet, and we can kind of look to see where all of our bowlers are sitting, what high games are looking like for this season, what their Baker percentages are looking like when we get to that section of the meet. So today we'll just kind of have to talk through it and base it off of what we can see on the scoreboards today from both teams. Jason McDaniel just finished with a 117, unable to cover that spare in the 10th frame, so he just got an 8 miss. Our varsity girls are just about ready to head into their 10th frame. Only 3 of them are going in with a fill, so hopefully we can see a few good pin counts from them. Caleb Burns starts his 10th frame off with a strike, and I know he's happy about that. I just saw him turn around. He gave off quite the smile, so I know he's happy about that. He's not used to shooting that low of a game, I can tell you that. I've grown up watching him bowl. He's here quite often with his dad, his friends, siblings, anybody he can come in and bowl with. He's here, so he puts in the work. Some days it's just a little bit harder than others. So only had a 91 in the going into the 10th frame in that 9th frame because of that strike. So we'll see what he's able to do. This second ball did pull it a little bit, it looked like, so we only got an 8 count on that, but still left the head pin and the 3 pin. So if he converts this, he should be sitting okay, and hopefully he's now ready to go into that second game, feeling a little bit more confident about where he needs to play the lane. And Caleb was able to cover that, so he finished with a 111. He's not looking too happy about that, but I think his second game is going to be a little bit better.
game. 78. Good game.
All right, we've got a couple more final scores from that first game. For Denison, they've got a 141 and a 178 up on the board. They are definitely taking the cake for this game, and we'll just kind of see where we're sitting with series after the first individual games finish up before we move into the Baker portion. Eric McCauley has a good game going here. Hopefully he can convert this 5-pin. We did have a missed messenger there on lane 5. Really thought that 4-pin was going to take out that 9-pin in the back, and unfortunately Eric's going to miss that 5-pin, which is going to leave him at a 183. Still a great game. Definitely going to be high game for our varsity boys, and hopefully he can repeat that next game, because that's a great score and we want to see more of that on there. Logan Strom up for the Harlan boys. We'll see if he can get all 10 back and set himself up for a big 10 frame. He didn't do that, but he did have a good 8 count. He's getting so close to where he needs to be on that lane. He knows what he needs to do, I can tell. So he's just got to execute that in that second game. Right now he's sitting at a 136 with an 8 count. We'll see if he can convert this spare and get one extra shot to finish up this first game. As far as our girls, we've still got McKenna Erickson up. I believe she got a spare. We'll wait for the scoreboard to go back. She got a 1 spare in the 10th frame, so she's got one more shot. We'll see where she ends up. Sitting at a 125 right now, which is pretty good. We'll take that for the girls' side. Denison's got a 110, a 159, and a 157 on the board right now. And McKenna was able to get a strike, so she's going to finish with a 135, which is a great game. We will take that. Logan was able to convert his spare, so his last shot is finally going to be a strike. You know, he's been waiting for that literally the whole game, so he really came back with that game. Those last few frames, starting in the 7th frame, he did what he needed to do, and I'm sure he's going to learn from that, and next game's going to look even better for him. All right. We've got Ethan Totten up on lane 5, finishing up for the Monarchs today. He is on a 5-bagger in the last few frames of this first game. Started off a little weary, missed a single pin in the first frame. We got a spare strike, a couple opens, 9 spare, and then he's been striking since the 7th frame, so he's going to come away with a pretty good game. And Denison was able to put up a pretty big number, and he's going to go Brooklyn, and he finished with a very nice game. So congratulations, Ethan. Came away with a 205, which we've got a 201 and a 205 over on the Denison side, which is going to be huge for their total pin count today. So congratulations to those two that were able to hit 2 on lane 6 for the Monarchs. Those are a couple of great games. Hopefully we continue to see some improvement from the Cyclone boys going into game 2. Lucy DeGroot was able to get a strike for her first ball in the 10th frame, coming off of a spare, so she's sitting at a 95 right now. So she's going to get 2 more shots in this 10th frame.
It's okay.
Oh, and I'm sure Lucy wishes she could have had that for her second ball in the 10th frame. She finished with a 105 for the Cyclones. All right, Katie Stern up for the first ball of her 10th frame here for the Cyclones. Looks like she's going to get a 6 count. she's on a spare 2, so she's got a 114 in the 9th, sitting at a 120 in the 10th as of now. Hopefully she's able to convert this spare and get one more shot. The varsity boys are starting on game 2 here tonight, so we'll go ahead and thank our sponsors here in a second once the varsity girls wrap up and take a quick break before their second game starts. Katie is unable to convert that spare, so she finishes with a 122 for the girls. Ashton Randerice is the high for the Denison varsity girls with a 159 today. They have all finished up. They finished with an 846. Just a reminder, we are going to drop that low series for the girls, boys and girls. They drop the low series after the individual games are completed before going into the bigger portion of the meet. So we won't have any final standings until after that individual portion has finished, and we'll try to pay into the TV so you guys can see those standings here after the second game has been completed.
Out away. Good spare. Yeah.
Andrea Reitfeld unfortunately put that first ball in the gutter, and she walked away with a 6 count. So she finished with a 77. I know she spends quite a bit of time in here bowling as well. Probably not how she wanted to see the game going, but again, they're learning from this game, and hopefully we continue to see improvement in their second game. Our boys are starting off pretty good here on 5 and 6. Wyatt with a 7-1. Donnie with a 5 spare, and Jason with a strike. So we'll see what Caleb's able to put up. Looks like Ivy Stevens finally got a strike. I can tell she's been waiting for that one all day. Hopefully she's able to put a couple more up, and again, get that momentum going into the second game. She came up Brooklyn and missed the head pin. That ball took off quite a bit, so she just got a 7 count on that. We'll see if she's able to run it down and finish with a 108 would be the highest she can go. All right. Caleb Ernst was also able to convert his spare. And Ivy finished with a 108. Again, we would just like to thank our sponsors, Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, K&OD, Keys to Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Wampler, the Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Merchant Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Again, thank you to our 2024-2025 sponsors. Looks like the girls are taking a short break before starting their second game, just to make sure that all of the scores are wrote down. Again, looks like on 5 and 6, the boys are off to a pretty good start here. We'll see what Logan is able to put up. I know he's itching for another strike, so hopefully we see that come from him today.
Good spare. Away, Graham.
How do you top Pizza Ranch's legendary cheesy ranch sticks? Any way you want. Get a load of these. Our new loaded cheesy ranch sticks are now topped with an extra layer of flavor, skillet crust, melty cheese, herbs and spices, and up to 2 of your favorite toppings. They're the ultimate appetizer on the buffet or on the go. Don't you just love that new menu item smell? Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
This program has been brought to you by Dylan Hamilton, financial advisor with Hamilton Financial Services, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC. Contact Dylan today at 712-235-5500. Office is located in Harlan and Walnut.
Harlan Do It Best is your best source for friendly service, expert advice, and innovative products. Whether you need to build it, paint it, fix it, or grill it, we have it all. Our full-service paint department, utilizing Valspar paints, can match any color for your interior and exterior painting projects. Check out our new Diablo tool aisle for all power tool accessories needed for your home improvements. Make grilling easy with our full selection of grills and grilling supplies. Harlan Do It Best, conveniently located at 1810 Chatbird Avenue in Harlan.
Western Iowa Medical, providing outstanding service and the highest quality medical equipment and supplies in Western Iowa. At Western Iowa Medical in Harlan, it's our mission to meet all your home health care needs.
Dr. J's Family Eye Care, longtime supporter of Cyclone Sports in Harlan.
Hanson House Senior Living. Experience life, experience Hanson House.
Advertise with HMU. Are you looking for an easy and affordable way to get your business out there? Why not advertise right here? HMU is looking for sponsors, and starting as low as $40 a month, your business could be featured right here. Our sponsors help us cover programs just like this one, and thanks to their support, we're now able to broadcast Cyclone sports, concerts, and more live on both HLTV, Channel 15, and YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Call 755-5182 and ask for Jonathan, or email jnorth@hmunet.com and ask for more information today.
And Logan is going to go Brooklyn, and he's just going to get a 9 count. He did leave the 6 pin up there. If he converts that, we should be sitting in a really good spot going into this second frame. McKenna Erickson starts the girls off hot on lane 4 with a strike. Looked really good off her hand. You could tell that's exactly what she wanted to do. And Logan was able to convert that. That was almost another clean frame for the boys for their first frame of their second game. So hopefully they can keep that going again. That was a really good frame for all of them. Spares looked great. Wyatt's going to start this frame off with a 9 count. He left the 10 pin up there.
All right. Make sure he gets the right score.
Eden Raymond up on lane 4. Looks like she got a 5 count for that first ball, so we'll see if she's able to get another count on this second ball of her first frame. And she was able to convert it, so she got the spare, which is awesome. That's her first one of the day, so I'm sure she is very happy about that. All right, Donnie Smith here on lane 5, unable to convert that spare. You can tell with the hands on his head, that's not what he intended to do. We'll see what Jason is able to do. Hopefully that is a double. Oh, Lucy DeGroot up on lane 4. She lost something she probably didn't want to. She's got a 4, 7, 9, 10 up there. Not going to be an easy one to convert. Hopefully she can just go for the count, which would be getting that 4-7 kicked out of there. Jason is able to get a 8 count, so he's got the 1-3 to convert now. Right, she was unfortunately not able to get any of them out of there. Tough one to go at. It's very intimidating to look at that, so totally understand where Lucy was coming from with that. Katie Stern up on lane 4 for the girls now. She's going to put that one right in the pocket, and she's still going to walk away with a split, unfortunately. Looks like she's got a 4-9 up there now. Again, if she just kind of goes on the left side of that 4-pin, 4-pin could easily slide over and knock that 9-pin out, but best case scenario, we'll take just a 1. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5. Definitely kind of figured out what he needed to be doing during that first game late. Hopefully he can keep up that during this entire second game. Off his hand, looks like it's going to come right into the pocket, and he's going to get all 10 back. Andrea Reitfeld up on lane 4 for the girls, and she's going to go Brooklyn, and she left a 5-pin. It's another great shot by her, probably one of her second best balls today. Eric McCulley up on lane 5. He's been throwing it pretty well all day, actually. Looks like this one might go Brooklyn. He's going to get a 9 count and leave a 6-pin to shoot at. And Andrea is unfortunately going to miss that 5-pin just to the left. Ball, again, just kind of took off right there. It looks like they're kind of struggling with that break point for all of their ball rotations right now. Just coming up, and then it's just snapping a little bit at the end, and they're a little unsure of exactly how to cover that and make that change. Eric was able to convert that 6-pin, so we've got a 9 spare up there for him. Logan Strom up to finish out the second frame for the boys. Again, this game is already looking a lot better, so hopefully they can keep that up. Gain some pins back on Denison. Right now, they're tied. They've both got 138, but again, that low score is going to be dropped. Logan goes up, and he is going to leave a 4 count up there. Just got to adjust this one a little bit, kind of like moving the regular strike shot pocket just to the left a little bit. So we'll see if he's able to run this one down. And from what I hear, it sounds like one of the lanes might be close to jamming up. We'll see. Thought I heard a little something. Logan just about knocked down that spare. Thought a pin was going to come back around and hit another one down. Wyatt Spank's going to start off this third frame with a 6 count. Not too hot of a start for the girls. We have a couple closed frames and then a few opens. Got a couple splits in there, which are never fun to shoot at, and they can just make the game a little bit harder than it feels like. So we'll see what the girls are able to do during that second frame, and hopefully we're able to get something together. And I was right. It looks like lane 8 jammed up. So we've got somebody going back down there to clean that up and get that all fixed. Donnie Smith did not put that one down where he wanted it to, and unfortunately it just went off that right gutter. So he's going to have a full rack to shoot at this second attempt of his third frame. And it looks like the ball is also stuck on lane 6, so hopefully Joe catches that when he's down there fixing lane 8. Eden Raymond up on lane 3, and she's going to get a great count on that spare that she had in the first frame. So she left a 7-8. Kind of a weird spare to leave, but it's you still leave it sometimes. So let's see if she's able to knock that one down. Still waiting on a ball to come back on lane 6. They were fixing lane 8, so now hopefully they'll catch that on lane 6. Eden is unable to convert that spare.
My soul keeps sliding
All right, Donnie was able to get a 7 count on that second ball, so hopefully Jason is able to get a good first ball. And Lucy looks like she was able to convert that, which is awesome. Oh, that was a strike. Okay, that was her other frame. Okay. So now we got Katie Stern back up. She also started the game with a split. And she came off with a 6 count. So she's got the 1, 3, 9, 10 to convert. And Katie does convert that, which is awesome. Always a good confidence booster when you pick up kind of a weird spare. So Andrea is coming off of a 9 miss in the first frame. Would love to see her get a strike here. I know she's been struggling today, and she just needs, again, that little confidence booster can go a long way. She's going to get a 7 count. Again, she left the head pin, so still another shot at getting in the pocket and at least knowing where you need to be putting that ball down. Caleb Ernst comes away with a strike on lane 6. So he's now got a double. I knew he just needed a little confidence boost in that first game. Those last few frames, he really found it. So he knows what he needs to do now. And Eric McCulley goes up and he gets a Brooklyn strike, but a strike regardless. So we've got 2 clean games going so far for the varsity boys, Caleb Ernst and Eric McCulley. They've got 9 spare, and a strike, and then Caleb has a 7 spare and a double. Logan Strom, I know he's vying for another strike, so let's see what he's able to do. That ball looks like it's going to come in a little bit light, but he was still able to knock out that 5 pin and the 8 pin, so he's not leaving a split. So he's going to be able to run down this 10 pin. He's done it before, he's going to do it again, and that time is now. Wyatt Swank is up on lane 5, looking to convert the 310. Definitely a slow start to this game, so he's looking to maybe pick this up and get going in. He does convert it, which is awesome. Logan unfortunately missed his 10 pin on lane 5. But with Wyatt's cover, hopefully this is a good start to their 4th frame. McKenna Erickson was unable to convert her spare. She had a 4 count left up there. Donnie leaves a 4 pin, on lane 5. We'll watch him run it down. Struggling with the spares a little bit. He had a spare in his first frame and then hasn't had another fill since that first frame. So we'd love to see him run this one down. And he ran it down just like I thought he would. So again, that confidence booster can go a long way just with 1 frame, filling that frame. Taking a look over at our JV boys. Slow start for both teams, it looks like. Not a lot of momentum. Denison is taking the lead 104-94 right now. But just a reminder again, we do drop that low series going into Baker. So C. Christensen is up on lane 8. And he had a nice 6 count. Jason McDaniel looking to run down that 3 pin that he left on lane 5. And it looks like he's going to do just that. Oh, and the ball came up again. Looks like it's hitting that break point and really taking off. Just need to make a few minor adjustments to make sure we're filling in those gaps and making the right adjustment with our feet to not have it do that and just get to the pocket a little bit better. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5 now, looking to get that 3-bagger. And Lucy DeGroot up on lane 4, coming off of her strike. She just got a 3 count. And Caleb didn't put that where he wanted to, but he still went Brooklyn, and he left a 7 pin. Denison varsity girls are covering quite a few spares right now, which we would love to see Harlan girls doing. Just got to make, again, those minor adjustments to make sure we're covering our spares. And Lucy is not going to cover that, unfortunately. Just left 1 up there. Looked like a good shot off of her hand. And Caleb does convert his 7 pin.
I know they have to have a Saturday morning league here, don't they?
All right, and Katie Stern up on lane 4. She just had a great strike. I know she's also been vying for one of those today. They're few and far between for some of our girls and boys, but always good to see it. Eric McCulley, he just got a double. Again, that's always a good confidence booster. He did have a great first game, though, and led the boys with that 183. Logan Strom up for the Harlan boys now. And Andrea Reitfeld is up on lane 4. She just got a nice 9 count, and she's looking to run down that 5 pin. All right, and there it is. Logan Strom with the strike on lane 5. If he could repeat that shot the rest of the day, the Harlan boys would be sitting in a very good spot. That was a great ball. Andrea was able to convert that 5 pin. Much better frame for her. She looked a lot more confident in that shot. Always a good feeling when you get that spare after you've missed a few. Ivy Stevens now up. She's coming off of a strike in the 2nd frame. I know she's ready to get a couple doubles in here and start getting some more pins. She got a nice 7 count, but you could tell her body language showed that she did not mean to do that. Ball came off her hand a little bit too soon, and she was trying to hold herself from stepping over the foul line there. All right, Wyatt is going to start the boys off of their 5th frame of the second game. We're about halfway done with this meet right now, just based on where we're at. We are going to bowl 5 Baker games here shortly, and I'll explain that a little bit more in depth for those of you that are tuning in and haven't watched a high school meet. It's a little bit of a different format, but it's a lot of fun, and it's always fun to participate in a Baker game. Wyatt Spank came away with a strike to start off frame 5 for the varsity boys. And McKenna Erickson is up on lane 3, starting the girls off in their 4th frame. And she's going to have a pretty good shot. Missed the head pin, but still managed to get a 7 count. Oh, Gavin Schmadke, or who was that? Excuse me. Kale Paulson for Denison Varsity Boys just got a messenger to pick up a washout spare on lane 5. Didn't think he was going to do it, turned around, and then his teammates told him, maybe turn around. I think you're going to convert that, which looked great. Looks like McKenna Erickson was not able to convert that 7 count, unfortunately, so we'll see what Eden Raymond is able to do. And we've got Jason McDaniel up on lane 6.
So much different than something else that's really nuts all over the bowl for more than 15 years. I never got the bowl that's the one thing I don't understand. Nobody's got them anymore.
All right, Eden had a really nice 6 count on lane 3, and she just about converted that. Looked really good off of her hand. It went right down the middle and knocked off those 3 front pins, but she was unable to get that 8 pin out of there. Caleb Ernst up again on lane 6 for the Harlan boys. And we've got Lucy DeGroot up on lane 3 for the varsity girls. And Caleb's ball is going to go right through the middle, and he left a 4-6-10. Again, best case scenario, you get 2 of them out of there. In his case, he's definitely going to want to go for that 6-10. Looks like Lucy DeGroot left a nice 6 pin on lane 3, so we'll watch her run that down here in a second.
Teach you in class? Yes. I had some guy that came up to me
and Caleb did just that. Got the 6-10 out of there. He'll just take a minute to regroup and then come back in the 6th frame and hopefully get another fill. Eric McCulley now up on lane 6 for your Cyclones. And Katie Stern up on lane 3 for your Cyclone girls. He's going to go in for the Brooklyn, and he left a 6-9-10. Still a good count on that double that he had. Katie also went for the 7 count and left a 3-4-5 off of her strike. Watch her convert this now. Looks good from my angle, but unfortunately she only got 1 of them out of there. Eric McCulley was able to come away with 2 off of his. Eric is sitting at a 94 right now, and Caleb Ernst at a 95. They are leading the Cyclone boys right now for the 2nd game. And Logan Strom up on lane 6. I know he's looking to get a double now. Had a great ball in the 4th frame, and off his hand, looks like it's going to come up, and he's going to leave a stone cold 10 pin. Andrea Reitfeld had a nice 9 count off after her spare in the 3rd frame. She left a 3 pin. Wyatt Swank is already starting off the boys in the 6th frame with another strike, so he is now on a double. And Logan's unfortunately going to miss that 10 pin there too. So close, just started to break right at the very end. Ivy Stevens up on lane 3, and she unfortunately just left the big 4, otherwise known as the 4, 6, 7, 10. So that's a pretty nasty split, and again, one that you're not normally able to convert. Sometimes you might get 3, but getting all 4, pretty uncommon. So I'd love to see her get at least 2 here. Oh, Jason did not let that off his hand like he wanted. Not great lane placement for that ball. See what he can do to fix that for his second shot in this 6th frame. Harlan girls are losing a little bit of momentum. They did not have a single fill during that 4th frame. And now Eden is up in the 5th frame as the second bowler. She got a 1 count on that first ball, and it's looking like she's going to get just a few more here. Jason had a much better second ball, getting a 9 count there. I know Caleb's looking for another fill here after that open in the 5th frame. And we've also got Lucy DeGroot back up on lane 4 for the Cyclone girls. And it's going to go Brooklyn. She unfortunately missed the head pin. Another one just fell, so she got a nice 7 count there. She left the 1, 3, 10. And Caleb just left a 6, 10. Another easy one to convert. He's picked it up before, so we'll see him run it down right now. And Lucy is going to run that one down. That was a great attempt, and she was very successful with that. That looked great off of her hand. Caleb also ran down his 6-10. And now we've got Eric McCulley up on lane 5 for the boys, and Katie Stern up on lane 4 for the girls. Katie's ball looked a lot better off of her hand, and she got a nice 8 count, just leaving the 3-6 there. And Eric McCulley's is going to be right in the pocket, and he just had a great shot. Logan Strom now up to finish the 6th frame for the Cyclones. And Katie also just cherry-picked her spare, so she was only able to get one of those. So another open, unfortunately, for the Cyclones, but Lucy was able to get that first spare for them this frame, which is much needed. So let's see what Andrea Reitfeld can do. Logan Strom had another great ball, but left a 7 pin this time around. And Logan runs that one down. Denison looks to be struggling a little bit more this game for the boys. Right now, Harlan and Denison are tied with a 494. Again, this of course isn't going to be the most accurate because we are going to drop that low series. So I'll go over standings right before we head into Baker just to let everybody know where each team is sitting, including our JV boys. Andrea Wrightfeld was able to convert that spare over there on lane 4, her second one of the game. So I'm sure that's, again, just giving her that little confidence boost to finish the game out strong. Now we've got Ivy Stevens up on lane 4. And Ivy's going to go Brooklyn and get a nice 9 count. Again, a very doable spare. Hopefully she's able to convert this one pretty easy and get that confidence back. Has yet to spare this game. And Ivy was able to convert that. That's got to feel pretty good for her. We'll be starting our 6th frame very shortly for our matchup for the varsity girls. Wyatt just went ahead and started up with the 7th frame for the varsity boys with a 7 count. He's coming off of a double. 72 in the 5th. And he's going to get some more count here depending on what he picks up out of this 7 count that he left. McKenna Erickson up on lane 3 for the girls, and Wyatt was able to get that 7 count, and he got the spare. Looks like McKenna's going to leave a 5 pin. Looks the 7 fell a little bit late, but we'll take it. And we've got Donnie Smith up on lane 6. He's going to get all 10 down the first time, so he can go ahead and take a seat until the 8th frame. Jason McDaniel now up on lane 6. Jason's going to miss one of the, looked like the 3 pin. He missed out of his 5 count that he had left to shoot at. So he's going to walk away with a 9 count off that frame. He's struggling a little bit this game, just not able to convert any of those spares. He did have a strike to start off the game and has not had a fill since. I'm sure it's not easy. You look at that, you want to know why you don't have any more fills. Converting those spares might be a little bit difficult for the day. Hopefully he can figure something big out for these last 3 frames. Caleb is up on lane 6, and he's going to be shooting at a 7 pin off of his 8 spare. He's sitting a lot better than that first game. He's already got a 114 in the 6th. So he already beat his first game. He only had a 111 the last game, and now he's going to convert that 7 pin. Lucy DeGroot up on lane 3, and she just had a strike off of her spare. So that's a great couple frames right there. Now we've got Katie Stern up on lane 3. I know she is looking to get a nice fill right here. Hasn't had a fill since the 3rd frame. And that was a great ball. Nice 7 count. She left a 3, 5, 6. Eric McCauley's shot on lane 6. Not how I wanted it to come off his hand. I could tell by that little head shake there. Only got a 5 count there. Left a 1, 3, 6, 8, 10. That 8-pin can be a little hard to get out of there, just depending on how you go about this shot, especially as a right-hander. We've got Wyatt Spank up again on lane 5, and he's just going to be shooting at a 5-pin. Katie Stern over there on lane 3 was able to convert her spare. And Eric, unfortunately, just got the 8-pin out of that. Tough frame to come off of. He was having a pretty good game. Still a good opportunity to come back and fill the rest of the 3 frames that they have left. They are starting their 8th frame right now. Andrea Reitfeld had a nice 7 count on her spare. Would love to see her convert this one. Struggling to get on, keeping on the right side of that head pin today. She's making it work though. We'd love to see her run this one down.
They put it on a hamburger.
And she did just that. That was a great conversion. Logan is shooting at the 8-10 and got the 8 out of there on lane 6. And Donnie Smith is up with a 6 count on lane 5, looking to run that down. Also would love to see Ivy Stevens get a strike here. And that was a great ball. Just came in a little bit light, a little bit behind the head pin, and she left a 10-pin. Jason McDaniel up again on lane 5, and would love to see him get a strike here. Needs to get that confidence back. He's had a few low scoring frames here, and he's going to start out with a 6 count now, leaving the 1, 3, 6, 8. McKenna Erickson had a great ball on lane 4 for the Cyclone girls. Nice 9 count, and she left a 8-pin. And she just nicked that 8-pin on lane 4 for the spare. Caleb Ernst up again on lane 5, left a single 6-pin. And we've got Eden Raymond on lane 4 now. Struggled a little bit off her hand and unfortunately just went right into the gutter. We'll look for a bigger count on that second ball, and Caleb's going to run down that 6-pin like it's his job. Oh, Eden's ball is coming right back, and she's going to get a pretty decent count, it looks like. It just kept coming around. She got a few pins off of that, so we'll take it. Eric McCauley up on lane 5 and left that same exact shot, the 1, 3, 6, 8, 10. Just chopped the 8 out of it the last frame, so would obviously love to see him do a little something different this frame, learn from the last frame. Lucy DeGroot is up on lane 4. She's coming off of a strike in the 6th frame. Good count here, going to be very beneficial to her game. And Eric again just knocked that 8-pin off of there. Sitting at a 122 in the 8th frame. He's going to be looking for some redemption in those last 2 frames. Lucy DeGroot with another strike, letting her have a double in the 7th frame. Katie Stern will be up next. Logan Strom just had a wonderful strike on lane 5. I know he was, again, ready for that one. Wants to see a few more, and hopefully he can do that those last 2 frames of the game to finish it strong. Katie Stern's ball on lane 4 looked pretty decent, except it just came up a little bit light, causing her to leave the 1, 2, 8, 10. So ideally, you'd want to get all 4, kind of hit that head pin on the left side, and have that head pin swing back and get the 10 out of there. But again, 3 pins, that's what we'll take 2. She actually ended up knocking the 2 into the 10 pin, so she got 2 on that frame.
Go away, Jackson.
Andrea Wright-Felt up on lane 4. Again, she just can't seem to stay on the right side of that head pin. So she went Brooklyn again, but missed the head pin. Still ended up getting a nice 6 count. And hopefully we can get her to catch this one on the right side of the head pin, and maybe find her pocket shot going into Baker, which would be awesome. Another great shot. She knocked off 2 out of that spare, so she ended up with an 85 in the 7th frame. Still got 3 frames to go for the girls, and a little under 2.5 frames for the boys.
Good spare, Grant.
Ivy's ball on 4 looked great, right into the pocket. I know that's what she wanted. Beautiful strike. Wyatt Swank up on lane 6, leading the boys into the 9th frame, and McKenna Erickson leading the girls into the 8th frame on lane 3. Left a 4 pin and just missed it. Wyatt unfortunately missed all 3 in his 9th frame in the 7th count. Sitting at a 127 right now. Would love to see him get a few more pins. He did finish the last game with a 138. Still has the potential to beat that, or even tie it. So we'll see what he can do in the 10th frame. We've got Donnie Smith up on lane 6 right now. He's sitting at 100 in the 8th frame. Good ball off of his hand, and he's going to leave a 5-8. Eden Raymond finished with a nice 8 count in the 8th frame. She's sitting at a 59 right now with McKenna Erickson at a 99. Next up is Lucy DeGroot. She's coming off of a couple good frames. She has a double on the board, so seeing her get a 3rd would be awesome. And Donnie unfortunately misses that 5-8 on lane 6. Sitting at a 108 going into the 9th frame. Lucy's ball is going to hang on, but it's not going to look as good as her other 2. So she did have a 7 count on that, leaving the 138, or the 128, excuse me. Jason McDaniel up on lane 6. We have another 3, 6, 8, 10. These aren't a good one to leave, so it's unfortunate that we're seeing so many of them. We'll definitely need to make an adjustment to hopefully not see as many in Baker. We're going to watch Lucy DeGroot run down this spare on lane 3. Looks good, and she is going to nail it. That was a great shot. And Jason is also going to just knock the 8 off of that. I can guarantee there's some frustration down there about what we're doing and why we keep leaving that spare, because it's not a fun one to leave. Katie Stern up on lane 3, just left a 5 pin, another good shot. And now we've got Caleb Ernst up on lane 6. And Wyatt Swank up on lane 5 to lead the guys into their 10th frame. They'll get a little bit of a break before we regroup for Baker. Caleb got a 7 count there, sitting at a 157 in the 9th frame right now. Katie Stern able to run down that 5 pin. Wyatt Swank did strike the first frame, or the first ball of his 10th frame, so sitting at a 137 right now. And Caleb is unfortunately just going to pick off that 4 pin off of his spare, sitting at a 158. Again, much better than his first game already. Wyatt Swank leaves a 1-3. So already beat his first game, which is awesome. We have quite a few of them out there that have beat their first game, which feels good to already have it beat and you're not even done with the game. And Wyatt only got 1 of those, but he finished with a 146, which is a even better game than his last. Ivy Stevens up on lane 3. That ball's looking pretty good again. She's left a 7 pin, but still looked like a very good shot. Donnie Smith started his 10th frame off with a 9 count, just leaving a 4 pin there. If he runs this down, he'll get 1 more shot attempt for this game. Unfortunately, not going to beat his first game. He had a 143 that first game. And he can max out at a 128 right now if he picks this up and gets a strike. So looks like he's just going to go ahead and finish at a 117 today for that second game. All right, that was a little scary for Logan's first shot of his 9th frame. Almost looked like he was gonna leave. If you missed that, Jason McDaniel's 5 pin just fell forward. It tripped forward, which is awesome. So he ended up getting a strike. Like I was saying, Logan Strom almost ended up with a 7-10 there on lane 6, but the 7 tripped forward as well. So now he's just gonna run down this 10 pin before he gets into his 10th frame. Jason McDaniel has kind of a weird leave here. He's got a 1-5-10. Don't see that very often. Again, best case scenario, would love to see him get all 3, but we would definitely take 2 right here. Varsity girls there on 3 and 4 are just starting their 9th frame, so we are going to have a couple minutes for the boys to kind of regroup, talk things out about how that first portion of the meet went before they jump into Baker. They'll just talk about what their lineups are going to look like, who's going to be sitting out that first game maybe, all that stuff, kind of get that in order with coach as the girls finish up, and then the girls will do the same and we'll get right into Baker. Eden has a great ball here on lane 4. It's going a little slow, but it looks like we're going to get a good count. And she's going to leave the big 4. Like I had mentioned before, that's just the 4, 6, 7, 10. It's kind of a nasty split. Not easy to pick up. Best case scenario, again, you're just going to get 2 and walk away happy. You might get lucky and have another one messenger over and knock 1 or 2 of the other ones over on the opposite side. But you'll be happy with 2. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5. He started with a 7 count. Unfortunately, he did open in that 9th frame, so not giving him a lot of momentum going into the 10th frame. And he unfortunately just got that head pin out of the lead that he had. Finished with a 166 though, which is just a few pins better than his first game of 111. So I know he's a little bit happier with that. Still not super happy, but looks a little bit happier than after that 111. Jason McDaniel finished with a 101, which was a little bit further down than his first game. He had a 117 his first game. So a few of them improved their second game, and a few of them stayed kind of similar, and then a few of them went down a few more pins than I'm sure that they would have liked to. After Eric McCauley's first ball in the 10th frame, he left a 310. He's coming off of a spare though, so he's got a 140 going into the 10th frame. This is a baby split though, so we would love to see him convert it. Lucy DeGroot is up on lane 4. She unfortunately just guttered after a spare, so no extra pin count for her there. But obviously would love to see her get a bigger count or even convert this. And unfortunately he just nicked that 3 pin. So he's going to finish with a 149, which was a step down from his 183, but still a great series regardless, especially this early in the season. Logan Strom is heading into the 10th frame on a 9 spare, so technically sitting at 119 right now. He had a 156 his first game, so still has potential to have a very similar game, just depending on how this first shot goes. And it's going to be a little Brooklyn, and he's going to get a 7 count there. So he just left the 139. Katie Stern up on lane 4 for the varsity girls in that 9th frame. And she is going, unfortunately, to put that right in the gutter on a spare as well, unfortunately. Lucy DeGroot did convert hers, though, so let's see if Katie can do the same. Logan is going to get his the hard way, so he has one more shot attempt in the 10th frame, sitting at 136 now, potential to go 146 if he strikes here. Unfortunately, Katie just walked away, knocking off the 7 pin. So she's sitting at a 98 going into the 10th frame. Right now, Lucy DeGroot is the only one set up with a fill going into the 10th frame. So let's see what Andrea Reitfeld and Ivy Stevens can do to finish off this second game. Logan Strom. Let's see what he finished with. He finished with a 142, so he did go down a little bit. He did have a 156 his first game. All right, and Andrea Reifelt was able to walk away with a strike for that 9th frame. So again, just setting herself up to have a pretty big 10th frame. Lots of point potential and pins in that. Ivy Stevens, she's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to get the strike. So we're just going to take it, and that was on a spare. So she also already has her first game beat. She's sitting at a 111 in the 8th frame on a strike in the 9th. She only had a 108 her first game. All right, and McKenna Erickson is leading the Harlan girls into that 10th frame. Denison Varsity boys are just finishing up here on lane 6. We've got a 157, a 161, a 145 right now for finished scores. And JV boys are in their 9th frame. McKenna, unfortunately, is going to miss all 3 of those pins, and she's going to finish with a 115 today. She had a 135 her first game, so unfortunately she did go down about 20 pins. So we'll see what Eden can do. Eden actually already has her first game beat as well. She had a 61 her first game, and she's already at a 65. So big 10th frame could mean a lot of things for her. She hasn't filled since the first frame, so we'll see what she can do. Maybe get a strike here, spare. Something would be great. Ball straight down the center, so we'll see how long it hangs on. It's looking pretty promising for at least a good count on her first ball. Fortunately, it's just going to the left, and she got one pin. All right, and that second ball for Eden is unfortunately going the same way as the first, and it hops into the gutter on the left side about halfway down. Lucy DeGroot will be up next. She is coming off of a spare, so lots of earning potential in this 10th frame, especially based on what this first ball looks like. Sitting at a 130 plus count right now, which would be great. All right, Denison varsity boys have also put up a 182 and a 133. They've got one more person to finish. Lucy puts up a strike on lane 3. So a 140 in the 9th frame and a 150 in the 10th right now. She's got 2 more balls. Denison varsity girls so far have put up a 124 and a 157. Lucy gets a 7 count there. She has the opportunity to pick this up and still shoot a 160. Denison just put up another score of 145 for the girls' side. We are truly split around 50-50 for either improving on your second game or going down a few pins in your second game. So it'll be interesting to see how the scores play out once we get those up on the TV and all calculated before starting Baker. Lucy was able to get 2 pins out of that 7 count. So she's finished with a 159, which is a really good game. She went up quite a few pins. She had a 105 her first game. All right, Katie Stern up on lane 3, and she's gonna unfortunately leave a 6-7. So again, not an easy one to convert. We'll be happy with 1 out of here. Ideal situation, if you're gonna pick this up, you're gonna wanna get on the right side of that 6 pin and just messenger it over to the 7 pin to knock that one out as well. Katie's sitting at a 107 right now, or sorry, excuse me, not a 107. I can't do math today. All right, so she's gonna finish with a 107. So she also went down a little bit. She had a 122 her first game. And Andrea Reitfeld is up. She has already surpassed her first game. She only had a 77, so she has made up quite a few pins already, almost 30 pins higher than her first game, which we love to see. She's going to go Brooklyn and leave a 5 pin there, but again, like I said, she's already gained over 30 pins from her first game, so that's great to see.
Yeah, it's going to snow today. You're probably right. I wouldn't doubt it. Like at some point, sure,
All right, and Andrea runs down that 5 pin. So she is sitting at a 121 right now, which is awesome. All right, and for that spare, she's only unfortunately going to get a 1 count, so she's going to finish with a 122. All right, Ivy Stevens up for the last frame, the last bowler of the second game for the varsity girls. She's going to come up a little bit light and leave a 1-2. She's going off of a strike in the 9th frame. Great count. Like I said before, she has already beat her first game as well. She only had a 108 that first game. Always good to see the improvement from the girls from game to game. Unfortunately, we did lose some pins there too from some bowlers that just couldn't find that groove from their first game. And Ivy's going to nail that, so she's going to have one more shot attempt in the 10th frame, excuse me. Denison ended up putting up another 132 and a 156 for their varsity girls. And Ivy put up a 9 count there, so she finished with a 140 today. Like I said, big improvement from her first game, which was much needed across the board for the girls.
See? Get the moods up.
At United Bank of Iowa, the difference is here. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 59 and Pine Street in Harlan, you'll always find a smiling face to greet you and help you with all your banking needs. We offer competitive rates on deposits and loans, and the latest in technology with our online and mobile products. Come and find out for yourself why the difference is here at United Bank of Iowa. Member FDIC.
Looking for insurance coverage at competitive rates? As an independent agency, we are not tied to one insurance company. We work for you, the agency, located right across from City Hall.
How do you game? Do you shoot your shot? Do you go for the goal? Or throw the high cheese? Whatever you do, our goal at Murtu Physical Therapy is to keep you in the game. Murtu Physical Therapy. Game on.
At Polly Jones Funeral Home, compassion is our foundation. As a proud family-owned and operated business, we understand that during times of loss, empathy and understanding make all the difference. Our dedicated professionals, rooted in family values, are here to answer your calls and address your questions and concerns. With 3 locations in Harlan, Avoca, and Denison, we're available whenever and wherever you need us to provide customized services for every family we serve. Polly Jones Funeral Home, proudly serving our communities for over 90 years.
Cyclone Seed and Chemical is your one-stop shop for all your agronomy inputs. Whether it's seeds, chemicals, fertilizers, or custom application, the staff at Cyclone Seed will work hard for your business. When you work with Cyclone Seed and Chemical, you'll have to build a bigger bin.
Listen to 105.3 KNOD. KNOD covers local, state, and world news. KNOD covers your favorite local high school sports, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Chicago Cubs. KNOD covers Brownfield Ag News programs. KNOD plays the hits you want to hear from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Kennedy has great advertising rates for your business. Call 800-876-KNOD for more info. 105.3 KNOD.
At Keast Auto Center, it's our mission to be the automotive home of Ford, Chevy, and GMC drivers in Southwest Iowa. Conveniently located just off Highway 59 in Harlan, we provide a vast selection of new and used vehicles, exceptional car care, and always deliver customer service with a smile. As your hometown auto dealer, we strive to make every transaction an easy one. Call or stop by today to get in touch with a member of our team and let us know how we can serve you today. Keast Auto Center, proudly serving Southwest Iowa for over 31 years.
Cyclone Lanes in Harlan is your total family fun entertainment center. Known for our homemade buttercrust pizza, we also offer great burgers and a variety of other sandwiches and sides, all available to eat in or carry out. Cyclone Lanes is available for birthday parties, company outings, and church youth groups. Laser bowling starts on Friday and Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. We invite you to come enjoy some fun family entertainment and great food at Cyclone Lanes in Harlan.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
All right, we are back for the Baker portion of the tournament today, or the meet. So the Baker portion is more the team aspect of bowling. So somebody's going to go ahead and bowl the first and the sixth frame, second, seventh, third, eighth. You kind of get what I'm saying here. So the coach kind of designs a lineup on where to have a bowler that you're very confident in, a bowler that is going to be a good leadoff bowler. So the first bowler that bowls the first and sixth frames, they're a very integral part of the team as a whole, because they're kind of the ones that the coach looks to say, hey, let's get it going again. So even after a bad, first 5 frames in a Baker game, you're looking for that sixth bowler to bring the momentum and get the team going again. So looks like first up was Lucy DeGroot, and then it looks like McKenna Erickson is going to be up for the girls. Our first bowler for the boys' side was Wyatt Swank, and now we have Donnie Olson up. Or Donnie Smith, sorry. So looks like we've got very similar rotations to what individual games look like. And then just looking at the scores on the board, it looks like the varsity girls, Harlan is sitting at it's moving fast on me, and nobody gave me a sheet, so we're just going to wing it. Varsity boys are sitting at a 1451. Denison is at a 1738. Varsity girls, Harlan is at a 1200 even, and the Denison girls were at a 1467, I believe. So we'll see what the rest of the Baker games look like. They're going to bowl 5 of these, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've been at a high school meet, so the varsity girls not off to a great start. Lucy put up a 8 count in the first frame, but unfortunately missed both of those pins for her second attempt. And McKenna had a miss 9. So now we've got Katie Stern up for our third bowler. So hopefully she can get the momentum going and get a big count put up for the girls. Caleb Ernst is the third bowler over here for the varsity boys. He got a 6 count, and he's gonna run down that spare. Looks like Katie got a 5 count. She left the 1, 3, 5, 6, 10. So you're gonna go at this kind of like a pocket shot, just trying to get in there and not miss that 5 pin that's kind of hidden in there. Our fourth bowler for the boys is going to be Eric McCulley. He had a good couple of individual games, so it'll be fun to see what he's able to do. Katie only got 2 of those pins in her leave on lane 3. And then fourth bowler is going to be Andrea Reitfeld for the girls. Eric McCauley looks like he forgot to take off his shoe cover, so he's taking a quick reset before he goes up. The boys are sitting on 2 spares and just a 1 miss in their first frame, so seeing a strike here would be huge for the boys. Looks like Andrea got a 9 count and left a 5 pin. I know she's picked this up more than once today, so I know that she'll run it down. She knows what she's doing with these ones. Eric ended up just getting a 3 count, it looks like, so got some pins to make up. Andrea got that spare just like I said she would. That's the first fill for the ladies today, and it looks like Ivy Stevens is going to be our anchor. Anchor is terminology that we use for that 5th bowler who's going to bowl the 5th and the 10th frame. Normally that bowler is going to be one of your stronger bowlers just because in the 10th frame they do have the opportunity to have 3 shots versus just 2. Ivy goes Brooklyn and gets all 10 down. And Eric knocks down 5 of those pins. So the boys still only have 2 marks in this first Baker game. And they have Logan Strom at anchor. He was really figuring out the lanes towards the end of that second game. So we'd love to see him put up a big number right here. Looks like he's going to go Brooklyn. And he's going to get all 10 down, which is great for the Cyclones. We've got Lucy DeGroot leading the girls into the second half of their first Baker game. And that was a great ball right in the pocket, but she left a 10 pin. I just learned that she only got these balls that she's throwing yesterday, and she's doing great. She had her high game yesterday when she was in practicing, and now she's already putting up these scores. So it's awesome to see that, and she's only going to continue to learn how to use these balls better, see how they react on the lanes, and learn what works best for her. All right, and for this 10 pin, unfortunately she wasn't able to have that ball hang on till the end, but it looked really good. Wyatt leading the boys into this second half of the game, of their first game. He got a 7 count there, just missed the head pin again, so got to figure something out there. So he left the 1-3-8. McKenna Erickson up again for the ladies. She got a 6 count, just leaving that 1-2-4-8. Wyatt was able to convert his spare in the 6th frame, and now we're going on to Donnie Smith. He was able to fill his 2nd frame, so we'll see what he can do in this 7th frame. Looks like it's going to be a good ball, cross over a little bit, and he's going to get all 10 down, which is going to be awesome. McKenna was able to convert her spare on lane 3. Caleb Ernst up on lane 5 for the Cyclone varsity boys. We'd love to see a double right here. Struggling to keep it on the right side of the lane, and he did, but it was a little high in the pocket, and he's going to need to convert this 4 pin for the Cyclones now. Katie Stern up on lane 3 for the girls. That ball double bounced a little bit, probably not exactly what she was trying to do with that. And she got a 7 count there. Still a good count on the spare, so we would love to see her convert this one. Caleb Ernst, his ball's going to come up, and he's going to nail that 4 pin.
Double bounce, lost it out.
The varsity girls here have a 7 or an 89 in the 7th frame, while the Monarchs have a 97 in the 7th frame. Katie was only able to get 1 of those pins, so we're a frame ahead and 10 pins behind. Exactly from the Monarchs. So let's see what these girls can do to finish out these last 2 frames of the game and see what Denison also comes up with. Varsity boys are sitting at a 122 in the 8th frame, 130 in the 9th. If you look at what Eric McCauley had for his first shot of the 9th frame, he left a 610, and he's unfortunately not going to convert it. Put that ball A little too close to the middle of the lane there. So we'll see what Logan Strong can do to finish out this game. He can punch out for a 160. So we'll see what the varsity boys can come away with. Denison seems to be struggling a little bit here. They are a few frames behind. They are only in what looks like their 7th frame, and they had a 94. Only 1 strike so far in the first frame, and then a few opens here and a few spares. So not looking too great for the Denison boys for this first game, but that just means that Harlan's able to make up quite a few pins this first game. Much needed. Ivy Stevens is going into the 10th frame over on lane 3 for the varsity girls, and that's going to come up right into the pocket, but she's unfortunately going to miss that a little bit light and still leave a 4-pin. Logan Strom was able to convert that spare, so he got a 6 spare for his first shot in the 10th frame. So he's got 1 more shot left, so they're sitting at a 140 right now. And the varsity girls are sitting at a 115, or a 113, excuse me. And looks like Ivy might not make this spare. I was hoping it was going to hold on just a little bit better than it did. Our varsity girls finished with a 113 for their first Baker game. Lots of room for improvement there. And our boys finished with a 149. Again, lots of room for improvement. Denison varsity girls are definitely going to take the cake on this first Baker game, as they have a 120 in the 9th and they're on a strike in the 10th frame. So we're looking at a 130 as of right now. Second shot for Denison's lineup. She's going to get a 9 count. Another great ball right in the pocket. Denison boys are still struggling a little bit. They just left a 6-7 split for the 10th frame. So the boys might make up a few pins on this game, which is going to be great. Denison varsity girls are unfortunately going to miss that 10 pin, so they're going to finish with a 139. All right, Denison varsity boys did finish with a 130 that game, so we did make 19 pins up on that, which is tremendous. So we'll see what the second game looks like. So far, no lineup changes for Harlan Community Girls. They are still starting with leadoff Lucy DeGroot. And she's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to miss the head pin, so she got a 6 count there. Left a 1-3-6-9 there. All right, so lineup change for the boys. We've got Caleb Ernst at leadoff now. I think that's a good spot for him. Once he gets going, hopefully we can see some team momentum go up with that. And like I said, he's got all 10 back. So that was a good move on Coach Anderson's part for the lineup. I think Caleb's going to be a good leadoff for the boys here. Lucy unfortunately pulled that a little bit, so she didn't get any of those pins on the second shot. And now we'll see McKenna Erickson go up to get the girls going and hopefully, again, put all 10 back. That's what we want to see. And Jason McDaniel puts it a little bit further in the middle than he anticipated, and unfortunately just went right into the left gutter, missing the 4 and 7 pins just by a few. McKenna Erickson went up with a 9 count. She's just got to knock down this 4 pin. We'd love to see a spare here for the girls. All right, Donnie Smith is now in 3rd. So it looks like him and Caleb just switched spots. So we'll see what Donnie's capable of here. He has been throwing it pretty well all day. McKenna unfortunately missed her spare there, so the girls still do not have a fill going into the 3rd frame. And now we've got Katie Stern up. Donnie was able to knock down 9, left a 5 pin. Again, we've left a lot of those today, but we've also converted a lot of them. All right, Katie just put 8 back. She's got a 1-3 to shoot at now. And like I said, they're not missing a lot of 5 pins tonight, which is good. It's a good spare to be able to convert. So Donnie put that one back. And now we will see, I believe, Eric McCulley, unless we made a lineup change. All right, so we do have Wyatt Swank in 4th. And we've got Andrea Reitfeld up for the girls. Still looking to see our first fill of the game for the girls. Wyatt Swank put 8 back, left a 5 and 9. Andrea Reitfeld was only able to knock off the 7 pin on lane 4. So again, would love to see her convert this to get some momentum going for the girls. As you can tell, Baker games move quite a bit faster than just those individual games. Already almost halfway through the second Baker game, so halfway done with almost the meet. So we'll be here for another 3 Baker games after the second game has concluded. Looks like Andrea was able to convert that spare in the 4th frame for the girls for their first fill, and Wyatt unfortunately came up short and did not convert his spare. So now we've got Logan Strom up for the boys, and he left a 3 pin. And Ivy Stevens up for the girls in the 5th frame. Again, would love to see a very high count on that spare. She had an 8 count. The ball definitely came in a little bit light to the pocket, but it did stay on the right side, which is a good sign. And Logan converted that spare just like we knew he would. It'll be good to see Logan and Caleb go back to back in this 5th and 6th frame. They do come in quite a bit together to bowl, so I know they're practicing together. They kind of know how one another bowls. They know what to say to each other when they get in a tough moment. So it'll just be good to see those teammates kind of come together during these Baker games. Caleb's going to stay on the right side of the head pin, and he's going to come in a little bit light. He's playing a little bit more cross lane tonight, and it came in a little bit light, so it didn't get through the 5 pin. So another 5 pin leave tonight. Lucy DeGroot is back up for the girls on lane 4. Ivy unfortunately missed that the spare that she had in the 5th frame, picked off one of them, and unfortunately Lucy placed that ball in the gutter. We'll see what she can do to convert that. Caleb picked up his spare, and now we will see Jason McDaniel back up. Jason placed that one a little bit better on the lane, got it out a little bit further to the right of middle arrow, which is I think what he's trying to do. And it came in, it went cross lane again, but it stayed much better on the lane than the last few shots have. So he's just got a 1-3-8 to pick up. So if he can find that pocket shot with this shot, he'd be sitting in a really good position going into game 3. He almost got there. He did still miss that 3 pin, but he was so much closer to converting that than he had been before. We've got McKenna Erickson up on lane 4 for the girls. She got a 9 count, just left a 4 pin again. I think she's left quite a few of those today, so we'll see what she can do with this one. Still only 1 fill for the girls there on lane 4. We need to see something happen over there. Donnie Smith up on lane 6 for the boys. Got another kind of weird 6 count, so he left the 1-2-7-9. This is kind of a weird one for a righty. You kind of want to go a little bit light into what would be the right-hander's pocket, where the 1-3 technically stands, and then kind of hope that your ball diverts and goes back to that 9 pin, and the head pin kind of helps get up to those other 2 pins. Unfortunately, he did just take off the 7 pin of that, so now we've got Wyatt Swank back up for the 9th frame. McKenna was able to get her spare, so now we have 2 fills for the girls side over there in game 2. Girls are sitting at a 57 in the 6th on a spare in the 7th, so technically a 67, depending on what Katie Stern gets for count. Ball looks good, and she went right into the pocket, a little high, and she left a 10 pin. So once she runs this down, we'll be sitting in a much better spot than we were. Wyatt Swank over here on lane 6 just got a 7 count, left the 1, 2, 9. Again, kind of a weird one to try to pick up, depending on how you want to pick it up. Oh man, Katie Stern barely got that 10 pin. It just grazed it, but she was able to convert it, so we will take it. Wyatt Swank unable to get the spare on there. Guys are definitely struggling this game, and Denison found their groove. They shot a 172 for that second game, found what they needed in Baker. So this game will look a little bit rougher for our varsity boys. We'll learn from it, maybe see a lineup change, and get back to what we know. The Harlan Junior Varsity boys had a 180 their first game, which is incredible. They beat both varsity, junior varsity, Denison, and they also beat all the girls. So that was a very good game for our junior varsity boys. Logan converts his spare in the 10th, so we will see him go up for one more shot. Andrea Wrightfeld unfortunately misses her spare in the 9th frame, so that's a 6-1 for the 9th frame, putting the girls at a 99 going into the 10th frame. They can still beat their first game, actually, if Ivy has a good first ball here, which we would love to see. Looks good, gonna come into the pocket, and it's gonna cross, and unfortunately she's gonna leave a 5-10, which is exactly what Logan left as well. All right, our JV boys are sitting with a 1330 versus Denison's, oh, it already changed on me. Varsity boys have a 1600 versus Denison's 1606. Or, these keep changing on me so fast. All right, varsity boys have a 1600 versus Denison's 1868. Varsity girls have a 1313 versus Denison's 1606. And JV boys have a 1330 versus Denison's 1298. So junior varsity boys are doing quite well. All right, Harlan girls ended with a 118 because Ivy was able to knock down that 5-10 split and then get a 9 count to finish it off. So they beat their last score by 5 pins. Eric McCauley is back in, and he just converted a split, and so that is starting the varsity boys off with a pretty good game. Denison varsity girls ended with a 128 their second game, so still closing that gap a little bit for the girls. All right, so our varsity girls are going to be back on lane 3. Looks like McKenna Erickson is going to be our leadoff again for this game. And we've got Jason McDaniel shooting at a 5-9 on lane 5.
Piece of plastic. Oh, yes.
Oh, Jason McDaniel barely misses that 5 pin. Gets the 9, can't get the 5. So we'll see who is bowling third now. Looks like it's Wyatt Swank. So definitely did another lineup change. Erickson was able to get a 9 count on the first ball in the third game, first frame on lane 3. She is shooting at a 4 pin. She's not able to convert that, and then unfortunately Wyatt walks away, getting a 6 count on lane 5, leaving the 1, 2, 7, 8. Very nice spare conversion on lane 6 for the Denison varsity boys. Wyatt only walks away, getting 1 more pin in the third frame for the varsity boys. All right, Caleb Ernst is now bowling in the 4 spot for the varsity boys. Again, still a really good spot for him and his teammate Logan to work off of. Caleb did keep that ball on the right side of the lane, but then it just didn't break. So he did miss the head pin to the right a little bit, which is probably the first time he's done that tonight. So obviously we'd like for him to go Brooklyn at this and then hope to send that 1 pin over kind of as the messenger to that 10 pin.
Got 6 instead of 5.
Lucy DeGroot up on lane 3. She went for the Brooklyn strike, and we're not mad about it. Katie Stern is now bowling third for the varsity girls. Caleb pulled that a little bit and only got 2 of them out of that. So we'll see Logan Strom go up as the anchor. Katie Stern on lane 4. She went up and just about got another strike, which would have been an awesome double, but she left a 10 pin there. So we'll watch her convert that. And then we will see if there's been any lineup changes for the 4th bowler. Logan Strom right in the pocket for a strike for the Harlan boys, which is much needed after 3 opens. So we'll see what Eric McCulley is able to do in this 6th frame. Hopefully keep up that striking spirit and get a double. Andrea just had a really nice shot. It's going to go Brooklyn. She missed the head pin a little bit to the left, so she has a 1-3 to shoot at now. Another chance for her to find the pocket and really get the ball right where it needs to be on that first shot, hopefully later in this game. Eric McCulley left the 1-3, 6, 8, 10. Once again, he's only been able to pick off the 8 the last 2 times he's left us today, so would be really nice to see him get that in the pocket and hit it a little bit different and pick this up or get a higher count. Looking at lane 3, excuse me, Andrea was able to convert that spare. Eric McCulley was able to get 3 out of that one, which is better than just knocking off that 8 pin. Now we have Ivy Stevens up again on lane 3 as the anchor for the varsity girls. That was a little scary of a shot. Thought that was going to go in the gutter a little bit. Sorry, Ivy. She got a 5 count there. Nice pocket shot, would take that out and convert it to a spare, which would be, again, much needed for the girls just to make up some pins there. Denison seems to be struggling a little bit more. They've had a few more splits this game than I've seen before. So a good opportunity to make up some pins. All right, and Ivy was able to convert that, so much needed, and we'd love to see McKenna go up and do the same once again and get a good count on the spare. Would be very beneficial. We've got Wyatt Swank up on lane 5 in the 8th frame of the boys' 3rd game here tonight. Wyatt went up and got a 9 count, just leaving the 4 pin. And McKenna just knocked off 2 pins, it looked like, just the 6 and the 10. So has a few more to knock down. Not a great count for this on the spare, but we'll take it. 2 is better than none. And we'll see if Wyatt is able to convert this 4 pin. Looks like it is just going to miss it to the right. McKenna's able to get a few more, so finish that with a total of 8 pins in the 7th frame, or in the 6th frame, excuse me. So now we've got Caleb Ernst up for the boys on lane 5. He had kind of a tough break in the 4th frame, so we'll see what he's able to do this frame. Looks like a much better shot. It's going to come in, and it's going to be a strike. Setting Logan up for a big 10th frame here. Would love to see Logan go up 3 times this frame. Logan unfortunately got a 4-6-7. Not an easy split. Again, go for majority, so would love to see those that 4 and 7 get knocked down. Lucy DeGroot on lane 3 left a 6-10, so we'll see if she's able to knock that down. Would be very good for the girls team right now, as Denison is still continuing to struggle. They've got a 77 in the 7th frame, and then they have a 9 spare, technically leaving them at 87 in the 8th frame, plus whatever they get in count. So would be huge for the girls to get this spare here, and Lucy's going to do just that for us. Harlan varsity boys finished with a 113 that game. Not great. Definitely struggled a little bit. And that split in the 10th frame from Logan was just unfortunate and just didn't help our case. We started that game with a split and ended it with a split. So hopefully we're done with that, and these next 2 games can be big. We've got Katie Stern up again for the varsity girls on lane 3. She got a 9 count on the spare, which is always good. As they finish up this game, we'll take another moment to thank our 2024-2025 sponsors, which includes Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keys Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Wampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murtu Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Again, thank you to our sponsors. All right, we were able to get that spare in the 8th frame, so now we've got Andrea Wrightfeld up on lane 3 for the girls. She got a nice 8 count on that spare, which is always a good thing, putting the girls at a 109 in the 8th frame. So we'll watch her convert that spare here and see what we can do. All right, we've got Donnie Smith up as a leadoff on lane 6 here for the varsity boys, and it started with a split. Not how we wanted to start this game, so we'll watch him knock off 2. Just about converted that, which would have been awesome. Ivy Stevens up on lane 3, just got a strike to start the 10th frame, which is huge. This is going to come down to what happens in this 10th frame for the girls. Harlan was up 1 pin going into the 10th frame. Both teams struck. in the first ball of the 10th frame. Denison was not able to convert their 9 count, and we'll see what Ivy can do. Denison girls finished with a 135 that game. Varsity boys are down 17-31 to Denison's 20-40. Varsity girls are at 14-31 to Denison's 17-34. And our JV boys are at a 14-52 to Denison's 14-24. So our JV boys are winning as of now, which is awesome. All right, our varsity girls ended up finishing with I didn't see that one. Now I've got to do all the graphics on there with a 134. So fortunately, they closed that gap, but didn't come away with the win on that game. All right, varsity boys are off to a rough start in this fourth game. They've got a 16 in the second frame, no fills. We'll see what Eric McCauley is able to do. And I hope it's not that nasty leave that he's had to shoot at a few times tonight. Hopefully, looks like that stuck on his hand, but honestly did not leave as bad of a leave as it could have. Looked like it hurt a little bit. He left a 110, so we'll see what he's able to do with that. Varsity girls, we've got McKenna Erickson up as our leadoff. She just shot a 9, left a 5-pin, so we'll watch her convert that. Again, we've seen that one a lot tonight. As long as you can cover that spare, you're good. Eric pulled that a little bit, not able to get any of the pins. And McKenna is able to convert hers. So varsity girls are starting off strong, as Denison did start with an open. All right, so up in the second spot for Harlan Varsity Girls is Lucy DeGroot. She's been bowling very well today. We've seen a lot of good shots from her. She's been able to come back after a rougher shot and convert a lot of those. So it's nice to see she's not getting in her head. She knows what's going on, and she's very capable. And just like that, she got all 10 back. So great start for the Varsity Girls. Let's see what Katie Stern can do. All right, and Katie Stern also just got a strike, so that's a double for the Harlan Varsity Girls, which is a great start. All right, we've got Deadwood on lane 6, so we've got somebody going down to get that really fast, and we'll be right back with the Varsity Boys in a moment. Andrea Reitfeld up on lane 4 for the Varsity Girls. Would love to see her with another strike today, especially in this frame. That would really get the girls going right now, and would be a great shot. And she left a 5-pin, but again, great count for her. All right, and unfortunately, Andrea Reitfeld misses that 5-pin just a little bit. Ball came up a little bit more than she anticipated. We've got Kayla Burns on lane 6 for the 4th frame of the boys varsity 4th game. It's going to end up with a little baby split. Not doable. Could very easily be picked up. Ivy is going to come in and get another strike for the girls. So only one open in the first half of that game, which is awesome. All right, and Caleb's going to convert that, which is awesome. So another split, but it was a conversion, so we're going to take that, and hopefully we see Logan put up something big right here. Denison JV boys just had a great strike on lane 7. Quite a crazy messenger strike, but those are always kind of fun to watch. Logan comes up short, gets a 9 count, leaves a 10 pin on lane 6. All right, we are coming to a close with this meet tonight, finishing up the 4th game of Baker, so only one more left to go. Harlan girls are keeping it close in Baker. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's going to be quite enough to make up those pins that they lost in individual games, but they're sure going to make an effort to try and do so. Donnie Smith just had a great strike on lane 6 for the Harlan varsity boys in the 6th frame, so let's watch and see if we can double up on that with Jason McDaniel. Much better ball for him, a little bit better ball control. Definitely stayed on the right side of the lane a little bit longer, which is what he's been trying to do for a lot of the night. Another small adjustment just to get him more comfortable. Definitely needs to move left a little bit, would really help him get into the pocket a little bit better, and maybe keep that ball even longer on the right side, and hopefully stay in that pocket. So I know he just talked to coach. We'll see what she said and see if that helped him at all, as long as he puts that ball in the same spot. Lucy DeGroot unfortunately just missed that spare on lane 4 for the varsity girls. A little upset with herself there, I could see. Kind of a weird leave. Definitely hard to pick up. All right, Katie Stern was able to walk away on lane 4 with another strike, setting Andrea Wrightfeld up for a great opportunity to make this lead a little bit bigger for the Harlan girls. Good ball, and unfortunately it's just going to be another split. She just cannot catch a break tonight. Every ball looks good, and then right at the very end, something kind of crazy happens. So she's got a 4.79 out on the lane right now. Again, just going for majority is going to set her up for the most success. Would love to see what Ivy can do in the 10th frame to help them come away with another better game. And just like that, Andrea did walk away with getting 2 of them. Harlan boys are struggling a little bit this game. Just cannot get in a good routine. They've only got a couple fills this game. Now we've got Caleb Ernst up in the 9th frame. Hopefully he can set Logan up with a nice strike to get some extra pins, as Denison is getting in a groove and they're finding where they need to be on the lane. And just like that, Caleb did walk away with a strike, which is what we were hoping for. Ivy Stevens got a 7 count to start off the 10th frame of this 4th game for the varsity girls, and she was able to convert that spare. And Logan Strom unfortunately just left a 5 pin, but it could have been a lot worse. He did have a couple pins fall a little late, about left to split. So nice to see that it's only a 5 pin, easy to convert, and the team still has a chance to walk away with at least a game a little over 100. Harlan varsity girls are going to finish with a 156 that game, which is a pretty good game. That's their high game today. Denison varsity boys just finished with a 151. And the Denison varsity girls finished with a 145, which is their high game for tonight for Baker. All right, we are heading into the last game of Baker's tonight at the first home meet here at Cyclone Lanes in Harlan. We'll see what this last game brings. Looks like Denison is going to walk away with a sweep for the varsity side. But as long as our JV boys hold up over there, they could walk away with a win tonight, which would be awesome. Once the scores for Game 4 of Baker get put in, I will update scores for everybody that is watching live. All right, not a great start for the girls. We left what some call Grandma's Teeth, which is a 4-6 split. Not an easy one to get. Once again, we'll take one and we'll be happy with it. We'll start fresh during that second game. Lead off for the boys for this last game is going to be Eric McCulley. Pretty good ball. Let's hope it goes Brooklyn. All right, we're going to take that because it's not as ugly as a few of his other shots that he's had that has been very difficult for him to convert. He's had a lot better ball control on that one, so he just left a 5-9, and we would love to see him convert this one and let the boys have a very big last game. Lucy DeGroot is up for the varsity girls. She, again, has been having a really great night. Getting used to these new bowling balls that she has, and let's see what she's not able to hang on to the lane for that first shot, unfortunately, and Eric McCulley is not able to convert his spare in that first game as well. So we'll see what Donnie Smith can do to get the varsity boys going in this last game. Looks pretty good. Unfortunately, it's another split. We just looks like the 10-pin fell, excuse me. So another 5-pin. Like I said, if you're converting these, you're staying on top of what you need to stay on top of. So we'd love to see him convert this. And again, just get the varsity boys going in the right way. Build their confidence as they continue with their season. Sometimes it can just be hard to get in that first few meets groove. You don't know what to expect. You have new teammates. A lot of these kids have not bowled competitively before. A lot of people, come in for birthday parties growing up, or they might, come in and bowl with friends or family here and there. But it can be a pretty competitive sport when you get going. So would love to see these kids have some good success out on the lanes this season. It's kind of fun. I was part of the first ever high school bowling team here in Harlan back in 2012. So it's been fun to watch this program continue to grow, see how many students continue to go out for this, and just, again, see the program grow. I had a lot of success with this program. We made a lot of history for the school, winning tournaments, winning our first meets, making it to state, and the success has continued to grow. It'd be a lot of fun to see them get back to the state tournament. A lot of work is going to have to be put in to get to that level. We have had in recent years, a lot of individual state qualifiers, which is always fun to watch their success, watch their story, how they got there. The one thing that we would love to see is our boys get to state. That has yet to ever happen. We've had individual state qualifiers on the boys' side, but never a team qualify. So it would be really cool to see that. Again, it's going to take a lot of work. They're going to have to work hard as a team and continue to fight, come in and practice, and keep competing at a level that they never have before. So again, would love to see that. It's always fun to see the different success that they have each year, continue to see how they grow, and just see more people starting to enjoy the sport at a competitive level, and understanding that there is more to it than just throwing a ball down the lane. Getting back to the scoreboards, last game is not going well for the varsity girls. It's a little bit harder. They're getting tired. It's been a long day. It's also finals week at the high school, so they're preparing for Christmas break. A lot going on. Varsity girls have one fill in the fourth frame. Would love to see Ivy pick up this spare. She's got an 8-count spare right now. And we'll see what she's able to do. And she is able to convert that. We've got a washout on lane 5 from Logan Strom. I know he's converted these before. These splits are really hard on us tonight, but you just got to keep powering through. Like I said, it's the last game that we've got tonight before we wrap up this first home meet. Definitely a learning experience. These bowlers are continuing to grow together, learning what works for them. Their coaches are learning what their lane play is. So it's a really big opportunity to have these home meets early on in the season, just to see how you can grow. Logan was able to convert that washout on lane 5, which is awesome. Just setting up Eric McCauley for success. We'd love to see him again. He was having such a great night, had a lot of strikes early on, great ball movement, and is just struggling to get it in the pocket right now. So we'd love to see him do that again, just so he can go out the night with confidence, as this is the last shot of the night for him. All right, if this can just hang on a little bit, we're going to take that. So there's a nice Brooklyn strike for him for, again, his last shot of the night. That's what we wanted to see. I know he wanted to see it. His mom over here wanted to see it as well. So we're all happy with that. All right, so this is also Donnie Smith and Lucy DeGroot's last throws of the night on lanes 3 and 5. Donnie left a 1-5, so a little weird to convert, but it is very doable. And Lucy left a 6-pin over there. So hard to see, everybody's in my way. All right, so this is one that Donnie would be able to convert. Like I said, it's a little weird. It's a weird angle to go in at. He's going to grab one of them. He's going to grab 2 of them, actually. The head pin bounced off the side and went back and got that 5-pin. So we're going to take it. So that's a nice last shot for the night of him. And Lucy was also able to finish the night with a spare to her name. So let's see what Katie Stern can do and Wyatt Swank. Wyatt, unfortunately, only knocked off the 7-pin there. Got a little fast, it looked like. So let's see if he's able to convert this. Right now for standings, our varsity boys have a 1963 to Denison's 2344. Our varsity girls have a 1721 to Denison's 2014. And our JV boys are still leading with a 1702 to Denison's 1638. All right. Katie unfortunately wasn't able to finish with a fill tonight. She just got a 1 count and then a 5 count. Varsity girls are sitting at a 79 in the 8th frame. We've got Andrea Wrightfeld up for her last frame of the night. And we've got Caleb Ernst up for his last shot of the night, which looks like it could be a strike. And it is. All right, so going into the 10th frame for Harlan Varsity Boys is Logan Strom for his last showing of the night. Logan is actually only a sophomore this year, so he's got so much room for growth and improvement throughout these next 2.5 years that he has left of high school. He is another one that's in here, again, constantly with his family. He bowls plenty during the week. I know the family does bowling together. I bowl with his mom on Thursday nights. His dad, unfortunately, is not bowling this year due to an injury, but a lot of the family has bowled constantly throughout the years, so they spend a lot of time here as a family. All right, so Logan was able to get his first strike of the night, so he's got 2 more balls left in the 10th frame. And we've got Ivy Stevens over here on lane 3, and she's able to get a 9 count for the first shot of her 10th frame. So once she runs this down, she'll get 1 more go at it for the night. Ivy's also a senior. She has had success making it to state as an individual in the past. I'm sure she's looking to repeat that again this year. She's another one that puts in a lot of work. She actually works here at Cyclone Lanes, so she spends a lot of time bowling after she gets off work or coming into practice at different times of the week. So not only is she here during high school practice, but she's here other times, whether it's bowling or just working. So she spends probably just as much time here as I did growing up. All right, our varsity boys finished with a 145 to end the night. And Denison still has a couple frames. They got a little bit behind. We had a ball get stuck, so they have a couple more frames before they're done for the evening. All right, Harlan Varsity Girls finished with a 103, and the Denison Varsity Girls finished with a 137 for the night. Just finishing up, kind of keeping my own tabs on what the scores look like right now. All right, so the girls' side has come to an end. They are all done for the night. Without saying for sure, we don't have all the scores inputted yet, but the varsity girls are unfortunately going to take the first home meet at home as a loss against Denison. I'll say final scores here at the end, and it looks like the varsity boys are also going to unfortunately see their first loss at home for the season. So we'll continue to update as scores come in, and they update those on the computer. But then we're going to wrap up the night. I'll thank our sponsors one more time, just as a quick way to end this. Again, our sponsors for the 2024-2025 year are Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keast Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conduct Exwampler, the Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murtu Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, and the Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex.
Are you looking for your clothes, Lucy?
All right, so again, thank you to our sponsors. It looks like Denison boys finished with a 162, I believe. Again, it has to do its end of game graphics, so it takes a while for the scores to pop back up. Yep, 162. Our junior varsity boys are still in their 8th frame of their last game, so they'll finish up here in a few minutes. All right, so our varsity boys ended up with a 2108 versus Denison's 2506. So congratulations to the Denison Monarchs for winning that for varsity boys. Varsity girls ended with an 1824 for Harlan and a 2151 for Denison. So congratulations to Denison varsity girls on their win today. All right, and I'm going to let them finish calculating the junior varsity boys scores, or I might do it here really fast. Just kidding, no I won't. I don't know how to do this. But I believe Denison junior varsity boys, or Harlan junior varsity boys were able to defeat the Denison junior varsity boys. Just don't have a total for pinfall quite yet. You do it. All right, we're getting them right now. Okay, so our junior varsity boys for Harlan came away with an 18-10 win over Denison's junior varsity boys 17-45. And that concludes the first home bowling meet for the 2024-25 season. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will be back for the next meet next week, I believe. Thank you.